It's good to have you all here to kick off the Automechanika Academy. Before we go in, I just want to thank our associate sponsors, Kempol and Synchron. I would like to kick off with what I'm going to say is going to be the best summary of where the industry in Saudi is headed. So I'd love to ask Engineer Aftab Ahmed, Chief Advisor of the Automotive Sector at NIDC, to come up. He has over 3 decades of experience in the industry, working at companies such as General Motors and Ford Motor Company. He's a seasoned expert, and he's going to delve into the kingdom's automotive industry landscape, offering valuable insights into the sector's current state, emerging trends, where we are headed, most importantly, and the roadmap for future growth in Saudi Arabia. So Aftab, if you'd like to come up, let's give him a big hand.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you, Automechanika. Thank you, all the sponsors. Thank you, guests. I can see some of the faces familiar. For even with more than my experience, some of them. Very exciting day as I started my warming up about half an hour ago. And we said that we will start again at 3:30, which was the time. So I'm not going to go back to what it started, but just to give some of the new faces who I represent. My name is Aftab Ahmed. I'm Chief Advisor for Automotive under the National Industrial Development Center, which is an umbrella organization, or we report to Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources. Our partners are Ministry of Investment. You can see one of the booth here. We all work together. And it's exciting to see Automechanika coming to Riyadh in a big way. I mentioned before I was at Dubai Automechanika last year, and there was a special session for Saudi Arabia automotive industry, and I presented that, and I think Automechanika wanted me to again come to the stage here in Riyadh, and I have been honored to be presenting here. My background, like Alex mentioned, this is my 35th year in automotive sector. I started from Detroit, Michigan. I still remember those days when I started my job at Ford Motor Company as an engineer in Dearborn, Michigan. And then 5 years in Michigan in Ford Motor Company, and then joined General Motors for another project as an engineer, and then moved on, and moved to finance, purchasing, supply chain, engineering, other quality, other function. And I, alhamdulillah, thanks God, I got opportunity in different area of the globe, working in Brazil, Japan, Thailand, Egypt, other countries as a short timer, but still saw how things are working. And last 5 years now, I'm away from the OEMs, but supporting OEMs and supporting the supply base to create a new industry in Saudi Arabia. And this is most exciting job I'm having for last 5 years. Although I had very exciting jobs at OEMs, and I loved it. And I learned a lot. I call General Motors as a university. And I learned from 25 years in different countries. But this is an exciting place. This is a very challenging job, which we are doing. When I came here, we were talking about 300,000 locally manufactured vehicles in Kingdom. When we were presenting, everybody was looking at us and saying, what? Are you guys in your senses? You guys want the OEMs to come to Saudi Arabia and global suppliers to come. Believe me, we were having challenges to attract OEMs to get the time for a meeting. Today, Alhamdulillah, we have 380,000 vehicles per year locally produced starting from 2025 with the project Sanam, which is a collaboration with the Korean company Shenyang or KG Mobility. And Lucid already have a SKD plant in King Abdullah Economic City, having the assembly for Lucid Air, which is a luxury, one of the top luxury brand, which is a very expensive vehicle produced in Saudi Arabia as assembly. And they will produce full-scale manufacturing, 150,000 plus vehicles before 2030, locally manufactured, not only just assembly, but doing the press shop, stamping, body shop, general assembly, and final assembly. And they will have also, everything, here in Saudi Arabia. Also, Sear Motors, it's even more volume. It will start from 2026, and we are hoping that they will be producing from 2026, and they will reach 170,000 plus vehicles in the peak time. And Hyundai Motor Company, people don't think it's not just a startup play, it's not just a SKD. It's a Hyundai Motor Company who has announced already in the media. The president of Korea was himself here with the chairman of Hyundai Motor Company last year and announced this project, a local manufacturing project of Hyundai Motor Company, which we have been working with them for last couple of years, actually 4 years with them. And we convinced them that Saudi Arabia is the place for manufacturing. So I'm going to start with that, this precursor, that this is a reality. This is not a vision anymore. And believe me, some of us were in China last week. We have been traveling to other countries. And people, we don't have to go to OEMs anymore or supplier anymore. They're coming to us that we want to come to Saudi Arabia. These global OEMs and suppliers are interested. The footprint in Saudi Arabia, it will happen, we don't know, but there are a lot of interest. And we are very excited to see that interest. Yes, there are some challenges, but we have convinced the OEMs and we will convince more OEMs. And Saudi Arabia will become the hub of MENA region for manufacturing. Believe me, I lived in Detroit. Detroit, we call it Motor City of the world. And that's why I went there 35 years ago. And I lived in Thailand. If somebody has been in Thailand, I know my friend, Dr. Shah. Rayong is, they call it Detroit of East. I lived there for 3 years. There are places which are automotive towns. And Saudi Arabia will become one of them. We are visioning King Abdullah Economic City, or maybe other places also will play a bigger role in automotive space. We already have chosen the residence of Lucid Motors, for Sear, for Hyundai, the King Abdullah Economic City, which is right on the Red Sea, and there's a very big, very efficient port, which is there in King Abdullah Economic City, very, very efficient. And there is a lot of development is going on. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. If whoever has been to King Abdullah, I would love to go even with my family for vacation. It's right on the beach on Red Sea. Their beach is also there. There's a very wonderful residential area. And the next attraction is very close to Jeddah, which is a very big city. And for some of us, Mecca is very close. Medina is very close. So it's a very good place to be there. I will start my presentation. I don't want to take more time of the presentation because there's a lot of stuff. Let's see if I think maybe it's not, okay. Okay. So just very quickly, how it started, this journey of industrialization in the kingdom. It's a vision of Royal Crown Prince HRH, Mohammed bin Salman, and King Salman. Vision 2030. Everybody knows probably what Vision 2030 of Kingdom is, KSA. We want to transform Saudi Arabia from the oil-based economy to a real industrial-based economy. And the three pillars of Vision 2030 are vibrant society. So I came first time probably in early 90s to Saudi Arabia. I came several times after that. I remember those days when you go to the immigration, when you go to the, other things. It was challenging. What has happened in last 4 years? It started in 2017, this Vision 2030. My kids can get visa from US by email in less than 10 minutes. I used to wait for at least 2 weeks for visa, maybe more in the US, coming from embassy. The ease of business in Saudi Arabia in 2019 moved 30 points, going from 92 rank to 62 rank because of the Vision 2030 and because of the reforms. Believe me, this is real. We all see it today in the kingdom. You guys came, some of them came from other countries, maybe Dubai, some from even Europe, China, a lot of them came here. They all see it, what Saudi Arabia is. I know we all know Dubai used to be easier, but believe me, we think that Riyadh and the projects like NEOM and projects like Red Sea, Qadiyya, Dariyya, Murabba, you name it, all these projects will leave a lot of countries behind. And this is a real serious play because Saudi Arabia has resources to do it and commitment to do it. These are KPIs for Vision 2030, and everybody's marching on it. Vibrant society, thriving economy, and ambitious nation. Sorry. Once again, I'm having some... Okay. I'm not going to go through this chart. I think it's the same thing which I was saying. Actually, on the right side, if you see in the blue items, there are several KPIs, and one of them is employment. The people who are not employed, there will be a lot of jobs. The GDP, in 2022, I came here I came here to Saudi Arabia. I came here in Saudi Arabia in 2019. The GDP was in 600 billion or so, somewhere in 600 billion. In 2022, it exceeded 1 trillion. Can you imagine the growth? Going from 600 plus billion to 1 trillion. There are other KPIs, a lot of them. And they're not just KPIs, they're not just targets. This week is a World Economic Forum special meeting in Riyadh. What was said yesterday by Crown Prince, His Royal Highness, we are already met more than 50%. We converted industrial economy from oil based. We were like 20% a few years ago in Saudi Arabia. We have already reached 50% of industrial based economy in the kingdom. So I'm going to go next quickly. You guys know the time. I can go on and on, believe me, for several hours. These are some of the enablers, some of the new initiatives. There's an intellectual IP property, there's a authority, there's a commercial arbitration. So when you bring the global business, you need all these, correct? The, the FDIs come and the global players come, they want to have their satisfaction for arbitration, for IP protection, for other things. And Saudi Arabia knows what needs to be done. So they're marching, we are marching very fast on some of these initiatives to be ready for global framework of business and become a hub, not only for the region, but even for globe. Europe is very near. So I'm going to show the map of Saudi Arabia. So you can see the map. I think most of you know where Saudi Arabia is. The reason I put this map is I lived in Egypt on this side of Saudi Arabia, on the west side. And I know the importance of Suez Canal and the Red Sea. I loved Sharm el-Sheikh, going there. Wonderful scuba diving and snorkeling. Saudi Arabia is going to create much better resorts on the Red Sea. And they're already happening, believe me. But why I'm showing the Red Sea, where the King Abdullah Economic City is, which is about an hour from Jeddah. It is on the Red Sea. It is, world's very large percentage of cargo goes from east to west from the Red Sea. We all know the crisis. A year and a half ago or so when there was a congestion, what happened? The supply chain disrupted globally, correct? So this is a very important area. The countries around Saudi Arabia and the MENA market is very important market, okay? So I just want to show you guys, and Europe is within 2 hours flight from Saudi Arabia, and very near. Even the shipment is within less than 4 or 5 days shipment in a lot of countries, which is sometime I remember, from China, there's a 25 days shipment time if you don't have a good load coming from your country. So this is very, very important for the industry. Next slide, please. Okay. I will just very quickly go through the population of Saudi Arabia is very good in the region. Some of the countries are very small. You guys know UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Amman, Qatar. Their population is smaller, although they have a good GDP. But Saudi Arabia population is 36 million, which is not compared to larger countries, not like India or China, but it is a good population. And it is, you can see the GDP is 1 trillion in 2022. 50% or more population is young. When we say young, means either 30-year-old or below. Lot of potential, correct? Lot of potential for the country. GDP per capita, 31,000 US dollar per year. Very good GDP per capita compared to some of the other countries in the region. Okay, I will not go through other parameters, but next slide, please. So where I work, I just want to show you where NIDC and what we do. So we are under the Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources. We are here to support whoever want to invest the money for localization, not for just trading. We support mainly for the industry creation. So we attract the business, we attract global OEMs, local partners, local investors, and we guide them. You know, we have a center of expertise. We guide them for whatever they want to know. We share some of the local data, we share global data, we share whatever data we have. We support them for business development, for business case development, for guiding them for business case development and other things. And then if the business case and the industry is strategic and there are gaps in business cases, we support them. We want the industry. We want a sustainable industry. We want to make sure that investor is successful. So if the gaps are real, we look at the gaps. Kingdom has a committee which is called National Incentive Committee, which comprise of all the ministries. Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Investment, which is a key part, Ministry of Education, other things. And everybody look at the projects and see how we can help it. Okay? So this is another way of helping the industry. Next slide, please. We have all these sectors. So it's not only automotive we work for. Our goal is to, whatever is import today, we want to localize. Whatever opportunity is there. You know, automotive, we are spending about 20 billion or so on import. US dollar, maybe. You know, it depends on what volume. But everything is imported today. It's a huge money, correct? Foreign exchange. And we can generate more GDP, we can generate more jobs, we can bring the technology if we localize. So we have automotive, we have aerospace, we have maritime, building materials, chemicals, food, machinery and equipment, renewable energy, mineral metals, pharmaceutical, biotech, and medical devices. And these are not the only one. We're working on high tech. So you guys heard about Alat, which is a PIF company. They're working on semiconductors. They're working on the future technologies. We're supporting everything. Believe me, sky is the limit. Thank you. Next. So, Excellency Deputy Assistant Minister was there in the kickoff. We all work together, and the key to the success in the kingdom is working together. Believe me, I have seen in other countries. Some of the entities were not working together. You create chaos with the investors. 5 years ago, it was different. In Saudi Arabia also. I don't want to go there, but for last 3 years, everybody here, Ministry of Investment, Industry, NIDC, PIF, you guys know very well. 600 billion fund, the public fund by Saudi Arabia, PIF. which has the giga projects. Sear Motors, Lucid, 70% stake. Hyundai project, they are investing. So they are behind also automotive. They are very much serious in partnering with the global partners. Ministry of Investment, we had a kickoff by Ministry of Investment. There is a booth also, Ministry of Investment. Some people are here. We all work side by side and help each other. We put Ministry of Energy, MOE, also here because nowadays we're talking about electric vehicle. We're talking about hydrogen vehicle. And energy, renewable energy comes with overlap, correct? The energy storage system, the hydrogen, we will see pretty soon the hydrogen commercial. I was in Beijing last week at Auto Show. So many hydrogen vehicles in China. Believe me, it's coming. So many EVs in China. 30% of their population today by sales, more than 30%, is EV or XEV, we call it, which is hybrid or plug-in hybrid. We have certain regulator bodies, SASO, which is a regulatory body. Okay, there are other entities. I will not go through all of them. This is our industrial strategy. We built it this a year and a half ago. And you can see today we are commercial vehicles today in the kingdom, SKDs. We are looking at Lucid, Sear, and Hyundai, a manufacturing, full-scale manufacturing. And then 26 to 2030, we are looking at fuel cell, hydrogen, and others, commercial vehicles. On the below, we are looking at ecosystem. So it's not only just OEMs. We're looking at suppliers. We already have global suppliers committed. You guys have heard about Pirelli tire. There's a Lear. There's a Faurecia or Forvia. There is Javis. There's Shenyang. We're talking to several other global players. Believe me, it's becoming reality. And they are coming and they are committing. These are some of the components, but these are not only components. We have achieved more than glass, plastic modules, or all the plastic seating, tires, exterior bumpers and other things, HVAC, wiper, other things. And we are looking at everything now for localization. These are some of the projects announced. I won't go through it. EVIC is one of the EV vehicle infrastructure company by PIF, and the target is 5,000 charging stations by 2030. This is our vision of Auto City. You can see assembly plants, supplier park, Auto Academy, test track. So it's not going to be just OEM play, but supplier, ecosystem, Auto Academy, and test track. And you can see on the other side, 600 plus thousand vehicles locally produced. That's now we raised from 300,000 to 600,000 plus. Believe me, this is very realistic also. The way we are looking at the interest from a lot of global OEMs, it can be possible, very much. And the jobs, very big number of jobs, GDP, and localization of 40%. This is King Abdullah Economic City. We have a special economic zone there. I know Alex is looking at me. This is the special economic zone benefits. Corporate income tax is 20%, but in a special economic zone, it will be for 20 years only 5%. And there are some other benefits. The VAT implication will not be there if you want to export from special economic zone. This is the forecast for the region. So you can see about 1 million vehicles by 2035 in Kingdom. In the GCC, 1.2 million. And in the MENA market, about 2.2 million. This is a big market. And our focus is not only Saudi Arabia. Our focus is the region. Become a regional hub. Okay? This is the local snapshot of the sales last year. Toyota is number one, Hyundai, Kia is number two, but you can see the Chinese brand. 4 years ago, they were not on the chart. 4 to 5 years ago, Chinese were not on the chart. Today, they are 14% plus, and this year might be more. You have MG, Geely, you have Chang'an, you have others. This is going to be a different play. This is a EV projection on the right side. We're looking at by 2030, maybe optimistically, maybe 30% of the population, because Riyadh Authority has a target of 30% EVs by 2030. We're looking at between 15% to 30% population of sale will be EV with the projects like Seer and Lucid and others. These on the top portion we already have today. We have Mercedes, MAN, Volvo, and Isuzu on the commercial vehicle manufacturing assembly. And we have announced 4 projects here, which is SKD Sanam, CBU, Lucid, Seer, and Hyundai project. This is some of the enablers. SIDF is one of the entity under the ministry which provide loan up to 70% to 75% loan for the CapEx, depending on the project, and very long term, from 15 to 20 years of loan payment terms. We have export financing. We have human capital support from HRDF. Tax exemption can be discussed for the giga projects. So these are existing, where you say first 3 of them are existing. Custom duty is existing, where if you put a local plant, the custom duty, which is 5%, is exempted on your other parts import and the equipment and machinery. All of them are exempted. There's a land authorities which can be supporting. And the utilities are one of the lowest rate in the region and in the globe. Electricity is one of the lowest. Gas is one of the lowest. And then there are special incentives which can be discussed. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I ran fast because of my friend Alex. I will blame him. Okay, so don't blame me. Thank you.